dzień dobry, witam w kolejnym odcinku z Genshina. Dzisiaj stopujemy sobie na chwilę Arką Questa, żeby pozbyć się w końcu tej durnej pogody. Więc tak, co ty mi możesz powiedzieć? Hello, excuse me, Outlander. Could you hear me out? What's up? Please don't linger on this island for too long. Recently the Tatarigami's reach has spread wider and wider. Tatarigami? Też się zastanawiam. Yes, since the people from Sangonomiya destroyed the ward that suppressed the soul of the serpent god. Oh, the Tatarigami has spread across the island. As you can see, the sky is now perpetually clouded and the rain won't stop. This is all because of the Tatarigami. Recently, one by one, all the miners have fallen ill, gone insane or fled to other islands. Ooh, everyone's gone. There's hardly anyone living on the island anymore. Znaczy tu w ogóle mało kto mieszka, nawet jak się pozbędzie tej całej pogody. Ironically, due to the chaos created by the Tatarigami, the Shogunate and the rebels have not been fighting over this place quite as hard. Jakiś plus? But if they had to not destroy our great Ogosho's ward, the island wouldn't have become such a mess in the first place. What do the commissions or dragons or serpents have to do with me, huh? They never asked my opinion before starting their cursed war. Then why are you still here? No właśnie, dobre pytanie. Why? Because this is my home. What about your family? They are in a safe place, but thanks for your concern. They must be waiting for me to bring them back here. Jakoś marnie tu żyjecie, szczerze powiedziawszy. Nie wiem, co wy w tym forcie żyjecie, czy gdzie? No one on the island left voluntary. We are a family here. Anywhere else we go, we will have to work for someone else. But someone had to stay and clean up the mess so that everyone else can return home eventually. This is such a headache. Is there anything I can help with? Jak zawsze. If it were any other child offering to help me out of the blue, I'd be laughing out loud right now. But seeing as you're a traveler from afar who has managed to venture this deep into Inazumy, you must certainly be able to hold your own. No raczej. I will get straight to the point then. The word over there has been bothering me for a long time and you could find a way to repair it. I'm sure that this awful weather can only be due to the word's destruction. But please be careful when you approach the word. If you stare at it, it will release a burst of energy towards you. It's harmless, but very uncomfortable. It feels like it's rejecting you. Oh, I think the word is missing some components. It can probably be fixed by putting the missing parts back. Of course, that's just a speculation on my part. I still can't say for sure what's gone wrong. So, if you want to help, please help me fix this word. But if you can't manage it, then like I was saying, don't stick around here too long. No ja muszę generalnie. O, chodź, no kurde. Dobra, chodź. You gaze at the word and suddenly a strange energy flows towards you. You realize that it is not resisting you, but is asking for something. Something seems to be missing from this word. Best to look around the area for the missing parts. Use your elemental sight to scan for scattered tracer or of elements nearby. Maybe you'll find something. Taki mam plan właśnie. O, tu coś jest. Nie zgadnę, co mnie będzie prowadzić tutaj. Pozbądźmy się tych potworów w takim wypadku. Tu jest jakieś zejście na dół. Dobra, submit item, cyk i cyk. O, ideolo. Przynajmniej tu już nie błyska, dobra. Not bad at louder, the clouds are almost gone. It seems as though my guess was right. Next, the two words at the serpent's head and Jakotsu mine still need to be repaired. If you don't mind, I'll leave those two words to you two. You got it. Thank you very much for your help. Although I am by no means a man of wealth, I promise that you'll be paid fairly. Podoba mi się. I still don't know when it will happen, but it seems that the time for my reunion with family and friends is drawing a little closer. By the way, you can find me on the west side of the island once you're done. Fort Mume came under rebel assault previously, and I suspect that the attack is related to these changes. Teraz idziemy do węża. A to już jak mi pokazują, to pół biedy. Myślałem, że sam będę tutaj musiał łazić i rozkminiać, co gdzie jest. Dobra, cyk. A tu jakaś jeszcze notka leżała. No idealnie, teraz tu już mogę robić jakieś puzzle. O, tu coś leży właśnie. Waterlogged node. If anyone leaks the team's secrets, they shall be held accountable. Phase 1, ambush the Shogunate soldiers. On a rainy night, using our lungs to detect, they switch outfits with them and obtain their ship's supplies. Phase 2, attack and break Shogunate's wards according to the methods Mr. Nathan explained and restore the dignity of our great Omikami. Stage 3, if the plan does not go well, sacrifice yourself for our mighty Omikami. If things go well, you may retreat safely. But in neither case can you reveal your identity, thus implanting our divine priestess. Ooh. The above information is to be kept strictly confidential, not a word to anyone, whether it be Her Excellency, the Divine Priestess, or our lowest ranking comrades. Those with loose lips will face the consequences. Co tu się dzieje? Jest! O Boże, jak ja nienawidzę tych puzli. Dobra, dawaj mi to. Emergency notice. Yashori Island is under attack. All personnel working in Jokotsu mine, please evacuate in an orderly manner as soon as possible. If you come across anyone from Sankanomiya or anyone suspicious, please avoid them and report them when you can. Podejrzany bardzo. Dobra, mam to. Dobra, trzecie z głowy. To teraz zostało czwarte najgorsze. Thanks to your efforts, the rain has stopped, the clouds have cleared, and the air is freshened up. It will take time for the tatarigami in the atmosphere to dissipate, though. Still, my investigation here remains inconclusive. It's possible I'm overthinking it, bardzo możliwe, but maybe the ruins on the Fort Mumei aren't connected to the wards of the island after all. What's going on? It's Fort Mumei. Fort Mumei has risen up to the sea, so? Let's investigate, we can't miss the opportunity. The fuck? A w ten sposób, dobra. To ma sens wtedy. Tak myślę, że zamiast tylko zajmować się tym jednym questem, można pójść robić jakiś kolejny world quest. Myślałem o Tataratsunie, bo to też jest dość upierdliwe. Aha. Właśnie widzę. Another route mówisz? Czyli już widzę dziada. Nareszcie, Jezus Maria. Dobrze, weźmy to. A ty wstaniesz? O, wstaniesz, właśnie. Przynajmniej to stoi blisko siebie i nie trzeba latać. Dobra, dawaj mi to. I dawaj mi kamienia. O, ideolo. Nareszcie koniec burzy. O dobra, na szczęście jest to już niedaleko, to nie trzeba latać w tą i we w tę. Thanks for your efforts, although the island is still full of dangers, to prawda, this will give a little hope to all the people who have left their hometown and long to return. The fact that the rain has stopped may actually make the warring parties more aggressive in fighting for the island, but they were never going to help resolve the situation on the island anyway. What we have done is at least better than leaving the problem to fester. Now, the gift I promised you. This is the famed spear once used by the prefect of Yashori. Now I'm not sure how much use this driving will be to you. But if we give it to a sufficiently skilled smith, they should be able to recreate the glory it once had in Lord Kitaine's hands. Alas, the age of heroes has come and gone, and the Kitaine who once destroyed so many evils will never return again. Still, we seem to have gotten a step closer to matching Lord Kitaine's deeds in the present, thanks to your help. Next, I will go to my friends in the Shogunate army to see if there's anything I can help with. I hope to see you soon again in the future. Aha. O, nareszcie koniec. Cieszy mnie to niezmiernie. Jeden z bardziej upierdliwszych world questów, o. Jak już mówimy o upierdliwych world questach, gdzie ja mam moje Tatara Tales, przynajmniej to zacznijmy, bo to chyba też nie wiem, czy to trzeba nie czekać faktycznie, nie wiem, 24 godziny realne. Przynajmniej zacząć zawsze można. O, zapytajmy się typa. Żołnierz na pewno wie. What's all this Mikage, Furnace and Tatarigami, tak? It's just a small problem we need a little to sort out. You're an adventurer, aren't you? This place isn't suitable for you or your ill. Get out of here. Aha, miło. Czyli jednak jakaś shrine maiden będzie bardziej pomocna. What's this? Blah blah blah. You're an adventurer, aren't you? You've got some terrible luck to have traveled to Inazumy at this time. That island is called Tatarosuna. It's a smelting plant for jade steel, which is used to forge weaponry. Are you aware of the legends of Inazuma swords? The jade steel manufactured here is the reason that Inazuma swords are as sharp as durable as they are. It sounds top secret. It's not that because of secret. After all, the 10 commissioned feels that having the ability to forge powerful weapons is something they should flaunt. A few years ago, for the purpose of expanding production capacity, they hired a team of consultation from Fontaine. They built the Mikage furnace, a machine that can fully harvest the power of the Tatarigami. We've warned them countless times not to let their guard down when it comes to the Tatarigami, but they decided to go ahead with the project anyway. After the Mikage furnace started its production, most of the consultant team returned to find only Xavier albo Xavier, to na jedno wychodzi, who we just mentioned stayed behind in Inazuma. But during one of the previous battles, something went went wrong with the furnace. The part that stored the core Tatarigami energy became extremely unstable. Work was halted in Tataratsume and everyone was evacuated shortly after. Xavier took emergency action and he seems to have set up a containment dome around the Mikach furnace. It's only a temporary solution though. He's probably still on the island now trying to figure out a way to solve the problem for good. Meanwhile, the Shogunate is only concerned about restarting production as soon as possible, jak zawsze. I heard that they're even considering calling the consultants from Fontaine back again, but I don't think they'd be willing to come under the current conditions in Inazuma. And it just has to be that Hanbei guy in charge of this whole thing, doesn't it? Who's Hanbei? A manager, you could say, always going on about producers, articles, and applications. His first reaction is never to find a solution to the problem. Instead, it's about what forms should be filled out and which powerful individual needs to be informed about the incident beforehand. He's probably in the city right now, preparing to submit whatever forms he can find. I really don't think if he's actually aware of the severity of the situation. I just hope that Xavier or our craftsmen can find some way to solve the problem. If something were to go wrong with the Tragami inside the Mikach furnace, well, if that happens, you should probably leave the island. Rozumiem. This all sounds pretty serious. It will affect our adventures for sure, to prawda? That's true, but didn't she mention that someone named Xavier is trying to find a solution? Why don't we go and take a look? I'd put our minds at ease if we could help take care of this, wouldn't it? To chodźmy do dziada. It's hopeless. Hello, are you Xavier? That's right, Xavier's the name and the name's mine, but is it fate, fair or foul that we should meet at this time and place? Pray tell, fine lad, who are you? I'm just a helpful adventurer, tak. Adventure? Ah, a great adventure. En road to the stars, the abyss and beyond arrives here on the island of conflict and Tatarigami. On the way here, did you happen to see a protective cover that looks like a bubble? No, I didn't. Oh, okay then. No, that makes sense. The content dome's not usually visible. If you want to view it from the distance, you have to employ a specific observation technique. Surely you can't see it either. Not without my eyes, that's for sure. I view it, but availing myself of this work. The Mikach Furnace Emergency Response Procedures Trial Version. Co ty gadasz, chłopie? I followed the instructions to the letter. Based on the readings given by the instrument, it seems that the dome has been successfully activated. One other thing I should mention is that, technically speaking, its official name is the Mikach Furnace Emergency Containment Dome. Now, as for the Mikach Furnace, please give me the short version, tak. Basically, it's a super smelter built using Fontaine technology powered by a Tatarigami core brought over from Yashori Island. Due to the impact of the war, the Mikach Furnace is now in an extremely unstable state. Mogę sobie tylko to wyobrazić. But whatever happens, I've now sealed it following the Mikach Furnace Emergency Response Procedures Trial Version, so the problem is almost centrally contained to a certain extent. To a certain extent. Well, it might be 893 pages long, but the trial version has no information on the emergency measures applicable in a wartime scenario. We need to inform an indigenous group for a trial version, expanded existing first issue and have a detailed discussion on it. Wystarczy mi już tego. Anyway, point being, even though I have followed the emergency responses measures, they aren't the most complete, and the environment within the containment zone has stored, less than ideal, shall we say. The Mikach Furnace has now ceased operation indefinitely, and that soldier is getting incredibly antsy about it. Allegedly, Miyuki recently borrowed some of his people to arrange for the evacuation of the civilians. Now that really got him riled up. But if things continue like they are, who knows, Tataratsume might just turn into a glorious firework visible all the way from my dear home, the beautiful town of Petricor? Could it really be that bad? No właśnie. In the worst case scenario, yes, it could. We've not yet reached that stage, but if it gets that serious, you will look to the processors for further guidance? Precisely, but considering it mostly deals with insurance claims and lawsuits and the like, I was rather hoping it wouldn't come to that. Recently though, the instrument is indicating that the containment dome is activated is a little unstable. Mało powiedziane, but I don't know what or where the problem is. Back in my beautiful homeland of Fontaine, we would normally have a vision welding expert diagnose the problem. Then we would form a dedicated review panel to discuss and raise proposal, approve as a solution, then organize the remedial work. But with Inazuma being the way it is right now, all I can do is try to determine what might be going on through naked eye observations and my imagination. In short, we're taking best guess. Best guess, my dear boy, please. That is woefully inadequate representation of what goes on. A fairer description would be observation and interest drawing on a wealth of professional experience, including analogous previous cases. Okay, so an educated guess, precisely. So my guess is that it could conceivably, potentially, possibly, probably be an issue with the device containing the Tatarigami core that is having a knock-on effect on the containment dome I installed. But even if that's the case, the readings given by this instrument seem off. Something must have happened outside the dome as well. So you're just missing your vision barrier, yes? Yes, that's it. Under the current circumstance, in the area around the Mikach furnace, only a vision barrier would be, well, safe. Mało powiedziane, to nikt nie jest bezpieczny. Anyone else would probably make it around free pace. Except for me, I'm a special case. I'd have croaked about halfway through taking my first step. In short, if we only knew what exactly was going on with the Mikach furnace, I'd likely be able to formulate a ripple plan. But we'd still need a review panel to approve it. Wait, it will only take one person to fulfill the function of a review panel. Aha, so we all set. Allow me to take a look. Huh? But it doesn't look like you have a vision. I have my waves, tak to prawda. Is that so? Alright, you'd persuade me. It's not technically proper procedure, but we shan't achieve anything by just sitting on the issue. And I suspect that if we left the soldier to handle it, his report would still be sitting in his superior's chest of drivers gathering dust, and the island was being blown sky high. Let me pack here, then we'll head off. In any event, we need to get closer to the Mikach furnace to get a better idea of the situation. Perhaps you could go and investigate the surrounding area while I'm packing up. These strange readings must have something to do with whatever's happening in the Mikach furnace. Pack up? Has that been approved by a review panel? Actually, as a representative of the present view panel, I have already granted myself authorization to pack up and strike camp, so no need to worry about that. W ten sposób. Dosłownie nie pamiętam tego kompletnie. Investigate. O, okej, udało się. Chyba? No nie do końca, ale dobra, już przynajmniej wiemy o co chodzi. Aha, Fatui. No jakoś tak za cicho tutaj było. No to jest dobre pytanie, Paimon. No raczej, nie inaczej. Ale też pierwszy raz to widzę, matko, jak już nie pamiętam totalnie Inazumy. Phew, the situation looks stable at least. The situation with the Mikach furnace? Yes, indeed, from my observation, the internal boot-up of Tatarigami energy doesn't seem too high. The reason I initially activated the dome was to stop people from going inside, mostly because of the legal liability it puts on us. Basically, if too much energy accumulates inside, then this dome is completely useless. The main thing here is that everything's looking good right now, so it's happy days. Nie wydaje mi się, Xavier. No need to pour over modern details at this point, so how is the dome looking? Ma 3 szczeliny i dużo fatui. Rifts. Wait a moment, fatui? What are those sly Snezhnayans doing all the way out here? Cokolwiek tu robią, to nie może znaczyć nic dobrego. You've got that right, but if the current issues with the Mikach furnace area the fatui is doing, then that complicated things. Goodness gracious, how can this be happening? I'm just a humble engineer. I only wanted to come here to do a little research, to do filming, get a taste of Inazuma's delightful culture, etc. To sobie świetny moment wybrałeś. How did I go from that to being caught up in the whole mess? It began as a simple technical issue. Then that soldier tuned up, and all of a sudden it's somehow a process issue. Then, somewhere during said process, it transforms again into an Inazuman domestic affair that Atlanters are strictly prohibited from interfering in. And now that the Fatui are here, if it goes on like this, the nature of this problem is going to change quite radically indeed. To wszystko wina Fatui, tak. Whatever, I'm here now and I'm the only person capable of resolving the issue with Mikach furnace. Technically, ignoring it would be a compliant decision, both in terms of process and in terms of who has jurisdiction over it. But I can just leave it unresolved. Perhaps I just need to accept that for a researcher, this is just the way life is. Or as we say in Fontaine, ja tego nie przeczytam, ja się nie znam na francuskim, nawet nie będę próbował. If the Fatui are really here to try and get their hands on the Tatarigami energy inside the Mikach furnace, then the containment dome should be a major stumbling block to their path. Were those rifts also? Indeed, there is no doubt in my mind that the Fatui are at least tangentially related to those rifts. I see. So it's those cracks in the containment dome that are causing my instruments to give these anomalous readings. I must say, they are very stealthy. They managed to make it all the way here, damage the dome and access the inside of furnace without anybody finding out. Fatui zna się na nagraniu w cieniach. If that's the case, there's a real possibility here that they've already made it inside. Właśnie, a co jeżeli zniszczą ten piec? Are their Fatui really so reckless? If it exploded, they would share the same fate as everyone else. I wouldn't put it past them. W sumie? Dear me, they are truly daring. First things first, we must find a way to scare them off. Give me a moment to think. I've got it. Since they decided to sneak inside the furnace quietly, it must mean that they wish to avoid a direct confrontation with the shogunate. So all we need to do is make some sort of big dramatic gesture to make them think that the shogunate is already owed to them. That might just make them much more cautious in an approach, which will make our investigation much easier. No to pójdę ich pokonam od razu. What? Whoa, hold on a second, that's not what I meant. Hear me out first. Do you know of the Kamujima cannon? It's a big gun built using the latest technology powered by Electro. The shogunate had a few of them installed on this island for military purpose, since this is where the front line was. But as the war went on, things changed and now they're currently sitting there unused. Dziwne mają w sumie te linie frontu. Nie wiem, tak patrząc jak ta Inazuma jest podzielona. Rzeczy się pozmieniały? Co dokładnie? You'd have to ask our soldier friend, but I'm sure he'll only tell you that he's not at liberty to disclose classified military intelligence. If you want my take, I think the Shogun's army underestimated the sophistication of their enemy. They installed the coś tam cannons, hoping to halt Sangonomiya's advance with overwhelming firepower. But although the cannon does indeed pack quite the punch, it has a limited field of fire and is not very mobile. Most importantly, big artillery guns like this need several people to operate them, and maintenance is a real headache. Trying to defeat the furnace and the cannons at the same time meant that our soldier friend and his comrades were spread much too thinly. So, ultimately, it actually gave Sangonomiya an opportunity. After making it past the cannons' fields of fire, they quickly took down the forces guarding the furnace. Before the Shogun's army could get emergency reinforcements to the furnace, they had already withdrawn from there and started attacking from a different direction. Constantly being dragged back and forth kept the shogunate's forces fully occupied, so when the furnace started having problems, they were forced to halt production. Meanwhile, the cannons installed in the wild became essentially useless against the kind of tactics employed by Sangonomiya's side. Suffice it to say that as far as the fight on this island went, Sangonomiya had the upper hand. Więc Sangonomiya podniszczyła ten piec? I don't think so. They should be well aware that the Tatarigami sealed inside couldn't treat Sangonomiya or the shogunate any different from each other if the furnace was destroyed. All they want is to continuously harass and attack the Mikach furnace to be the nuance to the shogun's army and slowly wear them down. I wonder who is planning all these precise attacks from Sangonomiya's side. Goru? Well, that's enough chit-chat. Whenever the case, the cannon will definitely cause an unimaginable ruckus, which is just what we need. And as a result of some miraculous coincidence, I actually know how to operate the cannon. Aha, czyli ten niesamowity przypadek ma coś związanego z Fontaine. Well, I won't get deeper into it, but we do have other technologies besides just maintaining and producing equipment. Więc zamierzasz ostrzelać ten piec? As I've said before, the containment dome is meant for stopping people from entering. The Fatui have already broken through. That much you've seen with your own eyes, though it might seem like it's just a few small tears. The truth of the matter is that the dome is actually barely holding up. If they're left unchecked, even if the furnace is alright, they will definitely find other ways to cause problems. If we don't destroy the dome, we'd have to go through the 3 tiers that the Fatui made to repair the furnace. We'd be fish in a barrel for those Fatui to shoot, but if we destroy it altogether, not only would it shock the Fatui and provide us with an adventurous opportunity, it would also allow for us to have more routes to choose from. Besides, if we can repair the furnace in time, everything will return to normal, even if we destroy the containment dome. Have a little faith in me and in the marvelous technology of my homeland, Fontaine. Come, let me... Dzięki, że nie zdążyłem nawet przeczytać. Ja już wiem, gdzie co jest, bo próbowałem tym operować. Co zapomniałem, że to jest przecież zablokowane przez quest. Come, let me mark the location of the cannons for you on your map. Don't we need to prepare some projectiles? Normally we would, and the cannons use a very special type of projectile. That's why the shogunate is so lax about leaving these huge cannons in the wild. But as I've said before, I happen to know how to operate this sort of cannon. What I also know is how to make use of electro to bypass our projectile-related limitations. But since neither of us has a vision, if we are get to hold of some stable elemental power, we should go ask the treasure hoarders if we might borrow a few of those curious small bottles in which they sell home. Nie martw się, potrafię kontrolować te elementy. What? But you're now a barrier of the vision. Huh. I guess we all have our own little secrets, huh? I shan't pray. Then, on behalf of our special review board, I will be entrusting you with this task. I'm confident that we will make a wonderful team. Aha, prawda. Znaczy wonderful team, czyli ja będę robił wszystko, a ty nic. Poszło? Poszło, pięknie. O, perfekcyjnie. O, nawet mnie przeteleportują, jak miło. No, ale mnie przeteleportowali? You're back. My, that was loud. My eardrums are still ringing. After hearing the cannons, the Fatui will most certainly suspect that the Shogunate has become aware of their activities. Still, something seems off here. Why hasn't the Tarigami energy begun to leak out after the containment dome was destroyed? Could it be that some of the Mikach furnace systems are still operational and have already purified some of the energy? Albo może właśnie Fatui kolekcjonują tą energię. Whatever the case might be, please take this opportunity to go and find out. Watch out, it's the Fatui. Co? O. Siema. Goodness me, they don't beat about the bush tutaj. No tak, to robią Fatui. Their lack of care for the delicates of law are really... Oh, well, the further they are from me, the better. It seems like their target is the Tarigami energy, which is within the furnace. Go check up the status of the storage device inside the Mikach furnace, while the Fatui are distracted by all this ruckus we're making. If you encounter any Fatui, why take them out? I have every confidence in your abilities. Dobrze wiedzieć. Aha. Jezus Maria. Dobra, spadamy stąd. Did you find the device? Tak, i zrobiłem nawet zdjęcie. Dobra, masz. Let me take a look. Good. It hasn't suffered too much damage. If all the other emergency systems are working normally, most of the energy circuits inside the device should have been cut off already. That I would consider great fortune even amidst our many miseries. I have a few more preparations to make, and I also need to give the problems we face here at the Mikach furnace some thought. Come find me after a while, we still have a lot of work to do here. Okay. Myślałem, że będę musiał czekać. Hello there, my dear gallant boy. I have a good news and bad news regarding the furnace. Which would you... może usłyszymy złe wieści. The bad news is that the Fatui are still poking around inside the furnace. They very much seem to be searching for a way to get their grubby hands on the Tatarigami core. The good news is that the core wasn't suffered much damage, so I can take care of it myself. Obviously, the Fatui will be none too pleased to hear that, but if we let them meddle any further, the Tatarigami's power will get out of control. This entire island will be blown up sky high with us still on it. Kurde. However, if we focus solely on the Fatui, the Tatarigami energy built up inside the containment dome will eventually reach its limit all the time. Czyli musimy się zabrać za nich w tym samym czasie. Well, put simply, academic speaking, in objective sense, move prościej, we are facing two separate problems here, the Fatui and the Tatarigami. But with how the situation is inside the Mikach furnace, whichever problem we choose to tackle, we are likely to have to face the other in the process. So ultimately, the fact of the matter is, you mean to say yes. Dokładnie. Yes, that's correct. We need to deal with both of them at the same time. But one step at a time. As the Liu saying goes, don't rush to eat hot tofu or you will burn your tongue. Jakim cudem znasz powiedzonka z Liły? We've been to Leo before. I'd consider this little gem of wisdom a souvenir from the trip. I have a lot of more of these souvenirs where that one came from. I must confess to having imbibed than all of my souvenirs from Mondstadt, though they were really very good. Let's get back on track. I have a teeny plan to fix this Mikach furnace situation, but I will need your help. Dobra, w porządku, spoko. Ha, forthright and ready for a fight. That's what I like about you. I digress. Now, hold on to these sensor beacons if you please. I need you to place them in a number of locations for me. What these sensor beacons will do is gather data on the density and distribution of the Tatarigami energy within the Mikach furnace. Once armed with this data, I should be able to come up with a more detailed plan. Spoko, zajmę się tym. I shall leave it to your hands, indeed. I will mark the locations for the beacons on your map. I'll be counting on you, traveler.
Anyone center and down and free.
Have you placed these beacons? Yep. Well done. Now all we have to do is to let them collect the data. Te beacony są na sprzedaż? You jest! Even if I sold them to you, what would I use them? Seriously though, if you ever visit Fontaine, I can put you in touch with someone who will sell them at you at a very fair price. Alright, thanks for your help. Please take this as compensation. One other thing, I may probably definitely need your help to reach these beacons again at some point over the next few days. I don't have a vision after all, so I can simply stroll into somewhere with such a high concentration of Tatarigami energy. Not to mention that those rough and tough Fatui folks are still there. I honestly think you are the only person on this whole island capable of dealing with them and the furnace at the same time. Bardzo możliwe. It will take a while longer. Have you gathered all necessary data? Ah, it's you! Wonderful! We haven't quite collected all the data we need yet. I believe it will take a little more time. That said, I've taken this opportunity to think about the structure of the emergency purifier. It's just a last-minute trick I've pulled. According to our previous discussion, we must deal with a two-pronged problem, the Fatui and the Tatarigami within. I trust you'll be able to deal with the Fatui. My part in this, therefore, is no deal with the Tatarigami energy. This emergency purifier is a device that I have purpose-built for that task. However, I'm going to need your help to complete it. W jaki sposób? We will need some special materials to ensure this device functions smoothly within the Mikach furnace. Crystal marrow, which contains an inert form of Tatarigami energy, is an ideal candidate for this task. In truth, the secret of the famed jade steel is that special method is used to add this very material during the forging process to increase the strength of the metal. Of course, the special method in question is a trade secret. If memory serves, this crystalline ore can be found nearby. Please help me obtain 3 chunks. Dobra, I've got it. Well then, you have my thanks. Remember, it's 3 chunks of crystal marrow. Bring them... Wiem, ledwo, na styk dosłownie. Thank you, truly. This shall form the basic structure of our device. Now all we need to do is wait for our beacons to collect enough data. Once you have that data on hand, I will make a few tweaks to this device accordingly. Once all is ready, let us put a device end to this incident. O, i co ty tu przyniosłeś, Ksawierze? Such perfect timing, traveler. The data has almost all been gathered and it is now time to retrieve our beacons. Dobra, zostaw to mnie. That I shall. Best to be quick and sneaky too. Don't let those Fatui spot you. Aha, dobra, czyli się znowu tam wracamy. How did it go? Do you have all the beacons? Mam je wszystkie tutaj. Bravo! Now just give me a moment while I modify this device. I must say, the Fatui have been acting more and more strange recently. They seem to be gathering around the core of the furnace. Hopefully they're unhatching some other dastardly plot. Or should I say, trying to do something that we won't be able to mitigate. The fact, to jest za słowo, pierwszy słyszę. Finally, at long last, it is done. Fortunately, I remember these specifications. So we're going in to purify the Tatarigami energy then? Well, as much as I would love to get in there and wrap this up, we must not act so rashly when faced with the Tatarigami. Moreover, some of the required materials I simply could not find, so I had to make do with some last-minute substitutions, the result being that the reliability of this device is somewhat... well, let me just say that in some circumstances it may not achieve the desired cokolwiek. It can be used normally just fine, yes, but I doubt that it can withstand any accidents. Oops, the slightest jolt will likely knock some of the components out of place. As such, we still require a little more preparation before we can put our new friend here to work. I'd like you to go near Mikach furnace and record some data for me. Dobra, możesz to uznać za zrobione. Thank you very much, I'll be waiting for you here. Co? Co to jest za achievement? Pierwszy raz to widzę na oczy, naprawdę. So, have you scouted this situation out? That I have. Dobra, masz to i masz to. Great, let me see. We don't like it seems. The Mikach furnace is quite stable and the energy within is not yet oversaturated. At this level of concentration, my device will still hold out. Czy musimy oczyścić całą tą energię? If this device could do that, why I would have applied for a patent long ago, but our 5 friend here can only decrease the energy level in localist area. However, the reason for the deactivation of the Mikach furnace and the failure of even its auto-restart program is the high saturation of Tatarigami energy. As long as we find the area within the highest concentration and purify it, we should be able to restart the core. At that point, the Mikach furnace should restart, and beyond that point, any further issues will not be our concern. That's the plan, but before we execute it, I still have a few final preparation to make. Okay. Oh, Traveler, things do not look good. The Fatui women have concentrated their forces near the core. It seems that they have discovered something. Surely they don't need to breach the core's defense. No, we can no longer afford to delay. We must move now to initiate functional test. Jakieś testy funkcjonalności. By that, I mean that we must test our machine friend's purification abilities. I have no intention of moving it into the furnace only to find that it will not function. No tak. To that end, please help me find 3 Onikabuto, if you will. I want to place them near the Mekach furnace, which will cause them to be tainted by Tetargami. Then we will retrieve them and use this purification device to cleanse them. It's the test I have devised. Gdzie mogę znaleźć te całe Onikabuto? Normally they are found in electro-rich environments. I have also heard that they can survive in the Mekach furnace, but hardly the creatures die. Więc dlaczego nie zgarnę trochę z tego pieca? Well, you could do that, but if you were to take Onikabuto directly from the Mekach furnace for testing, to tell you the truth, I worry about the reliability of my little machine. It is best to work through tests step by step after all. Well then, please help me find 3... Dobra, mam to. Mam? Na całe szczęście mam, dobra. That should do, then yes. Thank you, I shall begin test immediately. Ja mam nadzieję, że to będzie już faktyczne final preparation. Magnificent! The test went very smoothly indeed. The Onikabuto have been completely purified. Well then, all we need to do now is plan our route inside and we can begin in earnest. However, we must avoid those fatui. It seems that we'll have to take the long way. So, this thing is rather bulky, so it would be best for us to ensure that there are smooth paths for us to take as we move it aside. As such, I'd like to re-enter the Mekach furnace to investigate. If you encounter any broken paths, please help to restore them a little. I have yet to decide our route, but having more roads open to us could not hurt surely. Wiesz, że nie jestem ekspertem w naprawianiu dróg. You don't have to restore them to, well, perfect reliability. Just place a layer of wooden planks down so that you can move this device across. As you can just grab the wooden planks from nearby, I will remain here and try to make our machine as reliable as it can possibly be. Alright then, have you checked our roads? They're as smooth as can be now. Alright, then let's set off after a brief wait. Hey, are you? I'm thinking of all the things that could possibly happen, you understand? For example, what we will do if those masked lunatics have already extracted the core when we enter. They might shove it into some ruin guard, causing it to go berserk as soon as flying. Oh, dokładnie jak w Skyrimie. Or maybe some sort of elemental creature might emerge as we are purifying the Mekach furnace and might devour the core in a single bite. And in the worst case scenario, that legendary serpent might use this opportunity to resurrect itself. Na pewno, jasno. Then we'd be doomed. It would be game over. Game over! Nie będzie takie dramatyczne. I'm sorry, my old habits are acting up again. I also envisage the worst case scenarios. Zły nawyk, chłopie. Do niczego dobrego cię to nie doprowadzi, to mówię z własnego doświadczenia. I will make some plans and once the time comes, let us go and put an end to this. Please go well, please go well, please go well. Nareszcie najfajniejszy akt, jaki tylko istnieje. The purification device backup components map a map of our route and the data from our beacons. I believe that's everything. Hold on, let me check my memo and see if anything is missing. Beacon data, route map, backup components, purification device. Wszystko jest w porządku, możemy iść. My apologies. This is my first time entering this area. Usually my realm is logistic and data. And at the most I would operate machines remotely. I'm really in over my head this time. It's like trying to drive a duck up a ramp. Have you ever heard that Liu saying? Chyba nie. It basically means asking someone to do something beyond their ability. Though I'm not sure what's so difficult about getting a duck up a ramp. Ducks! Such elegant, gentle creatures. The sight of them gliding silently along the mirror-sheen waters of Fontaine comes to mind most strongly at this moment. Skończmy z tym filozofowaniem. Alright, let's go. If this device works normally, it should be able to constantly purify the Taragami energy in a small area around it. This way we should be able to enter the disaster zone together. We'll stick to our previous plan. You deal with the Fatui and I will deal with the Mekach furnace. Let's go. Dobra, idziemy się bić. Zobaczymy jak mi pójdzie. Na wpół niezbudowanymi postaciami. Oh good heavens, this is my first time entering this sort of place without any protective measures. Czy ja teraz umrę? Still, we've actually made it here, so that's good. In fact, it's great, almost beyond my estimations. Sure, you weren't setting them too low. This was as high as my estimations could go for this 11-hour solution. In my estimation, this cobbled together fellow here would have felled us on it halfway through. Afterward, I would have been rendered unconscious by the Tragaman energy. Well, either that or because I have scared myself silly. Either way, I kept a small piece of paper in my red trouser pocket. As soon as you follow those steps, you'd be able to take me to safety outside. Wait, did I tell you about that piece of paper? No, przed chwilą mi powiedziałeś, tak. I must have forgotten in my hurry. Well, never mind, now you know. Alright, I will check the device one more time and then we can continue. Dobra, Xavier Static Exam. Courses, co się stało teraz? It seems like we're now missing about 1 to 3 components. Czy ty sobie żartujesz? They're not key parts, so the device is still working. But if we wish to proceed, we have to find a way to get them back. These components should still be on the path we took together. Please help me look for them. I'll be here waiting. Dobra. I'll leave it to you then. I'll be waiting for you here. Ah, you're back. Have you found all the components? No, znalazłem. Aha, jeszcze muszę mu to dać. Dobra. Możemy iść już dalej. Ja mam wrażenie, że ten quest trwa ponad 5 dni, ale nie wiem, może to mi się po prostu wydaje. Bravo, right, I shall repair it immediately. Let me see, this component goes here. Xavier begins the repair work. That should do the trick. Phew, let's continue onward. I know of a spot that shall be most ideal for our final check. Final check? This is both the key step and our proudest moment as a team. Any product must undergo a final phase of test before it can be released into the market. I mean, those few components did come loose either. If we don't check the device again, I cannot help but feel uneasy. Alright, let's proceed, shall we? Nothing dropped this time, right? Okay, good. It seems not. This is where we are conducting our final check. Indeed, this is the place. Right, let's turn our purification device up to full strength right here. However, I must warn you that it can get just a teensy bit noisy when operating at full power. I believe that this might displease our Fatui friends around the Mikach furnace ever so slightly. Do you understand what I mean? Dobra, zajmę się nimi. Indeed, an excellent division of labor. Now allow me to start it up. Let's the final check begin. Tak, kończmy to. Kończmy to, ale o, skrzynia. Ale z drugiej strony... O, już sobie przyleźli. Z drugiej strony myślę, że... Ile mi jeszcze questów zostało z Inazumy? No ta... Jak się ta znowu wyspa nazywała? To tam też 3 dni trzeba czekać, żeby z łaski swojej mgła zeszła. Już nie pamiętam, nieważne. Ta... Tsurumi Island i Serai Island. O, teraz mi się przypomniało. To też totalnie można zrobić w sumie razem. Those lovely lunatics, try them in court, I say, try them. Gdzie się chować przez ten cały czas? I'm on safe spot. Do węgla w las, albo kurde do pieca. But let's get back on topic. According to the data that the beacon in my hand just gathered, the energy level in this area has fallen greatly. Based on the current state of our device and its performance, I would say this passes the final check. Now we can truly get down to business. Come, let's head to the spot where the real work can begin. It's time to finish this. Chyba teraz będzie bitka wielka. This is the spot, the part of the Mikach furnace that stored the core is right above us. My data also indicates that the concentration of Tatarigami here is also the highest. As long as this area can be settled, the Mikach furnace system can start running again, which will return everything to normal. Finally, we are this step. I must say I'd quite have liked to use my film camera to record our action here. No bardzo szkoda, że nie możesz w sumie. It's alright, I can find some people to reenact the events that transpired here. The name of the film. Now, I've heard that Inazumas often call their stories something tales. As such, a fitting for the film would be Tatara Tales. A to skąd ta nazwa tego questa? Bravo, yes, Tatara Tales, it shall be. Alright then, you know the drill, traveler. Dobra, zajmę się Fatui, and I will deal with the Mikach furnace. This exchange between us will surely become an iconic moment in the film. Well, start the device on once you're ready, then let's give Tatara Tales the perfect ending it deserves. Zaczynajmy ten cyrk. Dobra, się zastanawiam, gdzie jest czas, nie? Ale dobra, widzę, że po prostu mam tu HP. No, umieraj! Jezus Maria! O, jeszcze Jula umarła, świetnie. Świetnie, naprawdę. Co ją tym razem trafiło? Elektryczne powietrze, czy po prostu tak se umarła? Challenge complete. Tataratsuna, jak ja cię kurde nienawidzę. It's finally over. The Mikach furnace should have resumed operation. Let's head to the top and see what the situation's like. Może chociaż mnie przeteleportujesz, co? Za moje starania. O, jeszcze mnie zepchnij. The Tatarigami here has been out so much as to be harmless. Looks like the Mikach furnace is back in business. If those Fatui want to get their hands on the Tatarigami energy, then the only way they can do it now is to use those cannons to fire on the Mikach furnace directly. But since that would be tantamount to an act of war, I doubt they would do it, no matter how insane they might be. Miejmy nadzieję. Regardless, the Mikach furnace is safe for now, so neither we nor this island's treasure are about to get blown up sky anytime soon. Tak, nie mogę się doczekać, żeby zobaczyć Tatara Tales. I'll be sure to do justice to our image for this film, o Jezu. I might also have to hone my craft a little by making a few short films. But of course, this is all talk for later. That soldier named Toranosuke promised me commensurable remuneration, cokolwiek to znaczy, for completing this task. Let's return now and claim our coś tam from our fine soldier friend. No chodźmy już stąd, bo ja już nie chcę tu być. The Mikach furnace is back to normal, Nadri, huh? Więc już wiesz. Your deeds at the Mikach furnace have already been reported to me. Więc dlaczego nie pomogłeś jakoś, nie wiem, bezpośrednio? I cannot take any action without orders from Sir Hanebai. Alright. I imagine that our good man here must have his fair share of troubles, that with having a superior who values rigorous process so highly and all. What's more, I suspect that our previous action only went over so smoothly due to the aid of this Mr. Hanbei. A nie wydaje mi się, że to wszystko moja sprawa była. And of course, it's not as if the soldier was of no help to us at all after all those few doors. Thank you for your help, Mr. Xavier. Well, it was mainly the work of this travel. No nareszcie ktoś uznaje moje dokonania. If not for them, I would doubt that I would ever have achieved anything at all. Is that so? Thank you, traveler. I apologize for my previous attitude towards you. O, dziękuję. Thank you again for protecting this island. No, nie ma za co, nie? Wait, you're a blonde traveler. Just a moment, I think I remember that. Hey, guess who's welcome? You're welcome. O Jezu. Well, yes. Regardless, I'd like to thank you for all your help. Huh, well, traveler, look at you. Now, don't be so humble. If it weren't for you, I would have been stuck outside just letting events play out. However, I do have a question for you, Mr. Soldier. I recall you telling me previously that your most rigorous superior had to return to the city to hand in those most complicated documents. I imagine that was a terribly grueling order. But now that the Mikach furnace has returned to normal, I wonder where he might be. Oj, zaraz przyjdzie tutaj. Well, as to what Sir Hanbei is busy with, one of our superiors, a man named Mikoshi Ja nawet nie będę próbował przeczytać te imiona, came by earlier to ask me for a detailed report. After listening to my report, Sir Mikoshi ktoś tam became quite interested in this matter. According to what he said afterwards, our mutual superiors have also found Sir Hanbei's work ethic to be quite praiseworthy. They have thus decided to appoint Sir Hanbei to the post of foreign attaché to Sumeru. Ooh! I have heard that he will be staying there, ensuring that the most vital supply line of mushrooms between Inazumy and Sumeru shall remain open and smooth. Ważna rola. Ciekawe, czy on faktycznie gdzieś tam siedzi w tym Sumeru. Of course, Sir Hanbei is perfect fit for such a key post. Sir Hanbei is presently waiting orders in the city, waiting for the right time to set off. That's wonderful. Good for him. Still having lost such a fine gentleman, however shall we fill the gaping void that is now vacant post? I recommended a few people suited to the job. It was decided that a craftsman named Yosuke would be in the charge of our future maintenance work on the Mikach furnace. That sets my heart at ease. But still, let us not speak of that anymore. Now then, Mr. Soldier, please give my share of the remunerations to this traveler as well. Yes, traveler, this is also for you. Please take it. This is a blueprint that I previously purchased from a certain craftsman. I had plans to bring this blueprint back to my homeland as a souvenir, but it seems that I shall be staying in Inazume for a while. I doubt that I will be returning anytime soon. So I'll give it to you as a gift, thank you. You're most welcome, my friend. You've been a great help to me. Please allow me to invite you as my first viewer when I finish Tatara Tales. Oh, and I have another simple favor to ask. Słucham? A, to koniec, dobra, super. Dobrze, więc tym jakże pięknym widokiem na nareszcie naprawioną Tatarotsunę będziemy już kończyć. Myślę, że częściej będę po prostu łączył parę World Questów w jedno, jeżeli one faktycznie nie będą jakieś takie za długie, żeby jednak też zaoszczędzić trochę czasu i też wiadomo, nie rozciągać pewnych fragmentów, zwłaszcza, że na Inazumie kompletnie mi nie zależy, a nie ukrywam, że już chciałbym się na przykład znaleźć w Sumeru. Ale do tego jeszcze daleka droga, a jak na razie dziękuję wam bardzo serdecznie za oglądanie. Trzymajcie się i do kolejnego odcinka. Cześć!